Okay. Um, Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of our Tech Security 101 webinar series. For those of us that joined us a few minutes ago, thank you for being patient enough to wait for others to join. So, yes, it's the 9th episode of our Tech Security 101 webinar series, and it's also IT Pro Day today. So I would like to wish everyone on this call, that's the IT pros on this call, happy IT Pro Day to all the network engineers, system administrators, database admins, and so on. We appreciate all that you do to keep our IT infrastructures running. So yes, my name is Chisom Anaesiuba, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. In our last episode, we discussed protecting endpoints using Cisco AMP. Most of you probably got the recording, but I could share the recording with us as well. But for today, we'll be discussing on a different product, and I would like to share a brief background into this topic. So currently, organizations can do more over the web than ever before. Today's web offers a dynamic real-time user experience. However, the web has also become a more dangerous place with increasingly sophisticated attacks released every day. Simply blocking known viruses or restricting access to known bad websites is not enough. Reactive techniques such as signature-based antivirus and category-only URL filtering, while necessary, are insufficient to protect access to cloud applications or combat today's exploits. So McAfee Web Gateway is a critical defense for any organization to protect against emerging malware threats. It empowers organizations with secure internet access while greatly reducing risk through an advanced security approach that combines powerful local intent analysis with cloud-based protection powered by McAfee Labs. So yes, our topic for today is secure users' traffic using McAfee Web Gateway. And to take us on this topic is David Olatoye, a network and technical support engineer at Ha-Shem Limited. Before I hand over to David to share more on his competencies and take us through this interesting topic, I would like to share some housekeeping rules which will help us have a seamless learning experience. So first off, we would appreciate if everyone here has their mics muted through the session. And if you have any questions as our speaker takes us through, kindly type it in the chat window or pen it down and hold on to it until the Q&A session where we'll be addressing questions. During the Q&A session, you can signify by raising your hand with the raise hand feature in your meeting window, and I'll call on you to proceed to ask your question. Also, kindly note that this session is being recorded and the recording will be made available to all attendees after the webinar. There will also be a feedback survey towards the end of the session, which would appreciate everyone filling in order for us to know how we're doing, how we can improve, and what other topics are of interest to you that you would like us to cover in our upcoming sessions. Then finally, you can keep up with us on events like this one by following our social media channels. I'll share a link to that shortly. So feel free to follow us on any of your preferred social media channels. So now I'll be handing over to David to take us through this interesting topic. Over to you, David. Hello. Hello? I don't think.
Hello, Chisom, we can hear you.
Yes, hello, David. I'm trying to, I don't know if you can hear me.
All right.
Okay, I'm guessing his mic was muted, yeah.
Hello, can you hear me, Chisom?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the brief introduction about the topic today. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's tech security webinar, and we have some much amazing content to share with you today. A significant amount of malware infections and potential unwanted program, irritants are the result of download from unreliable sources. There are multitude that specialize in distributing malicious payload by offering them up as something legitimate, or by handling the desired installer with additional programs. Today, we'll be talking about secure user web traffic using McAfee Web Gateway. I'm David Olatoye, a network security engineer of Ha-Shem. I love working with security products. So today's webinar will be talking to you on the agenda will be challenges faced by information technology. A lot of issues have been discussed by IT. What are the things that they can use to resolve all those challenges? So we'll be discussing about the challenges and introducing McAfee Web Gateway as a security solution and how these can be deployed, the actual design, and then we're going to the demo. Arbitrarily, threat actors find out which search terms are going in popularity as users seek out terminated software downloads and try to lure searchers to their sites. They will use search engine optimization techniques to rank high in the search results, or may even spend some monies to show up in the sponsor result of certain keywords. They can hide their malware in advertising in form of downloads and even drive-by downloads in which users need not install a single file, only visit the site to be infected. We have various kinds of application software that are not being cleared by the IT. And IT are being challenged at what does this application do? Does this application, is it trustable application that if users access on their computer and download it, is it secure when it's being installed? A lot of things has been downloaded by users in organizations, and IT don't even know much of this application because a lot of application comes up day in, day out in every 2 seconds. A lot of IT develops applications, even cybercrimes develop applications that are spread on the internet. So users don't even know the right applications to download. So as a result, once they click an application, the application will appear as if it is legitimate, but there is an additional things being added to the application, which at the end, when downloaded, it starts executing its own program. After all, a victim is desperately looking for a file, it needs to get up and running again. All they have to do is to make the user of the site believe they have found the file they are looking for. Once they are convinced that they have downloaded the file and installed, alleged drivers all by themselves. All the threat actor has to do is upload the malware under some convincing file name and attract visitors to the site. This is basically the same modulus operandi that you will find in use when people go looking for cracks and key gems. It is not all applications that are visible by IT. I know about 40 class applications, but there are others that we are not aware of. Yes, that is the reality, because a lot of applications are going up on the internet, being advertised. Even on the phone, you try to download an applications. You don't know the real content of the applications. When you download the applications or a users in organization download the applications, it takes effect of what is being intended to do. And at the end, you might not know what is going on at the background. ITs are faced with various problems. Am I under attack? These are the questions that IT asks themselves. Why is this machine running slow? What is this file doing? How does it come to my systems? And what should I do to respond to it? ITs, before they can start mitigating the attack or preventing the attack from taking effect, the malware has gone at the background, taking some using some commands and control to take password and some information that is being stored on the system on the webs. These are the reasons. So the ITs are faced with the various problems, and how will they resolve it? By introducing McAfee Web Gateway is a solution that can protect you against this attack. McAfee Web Gateway is a web security product that protects your network against threats arising from the web. It defends any organization looking to protect against emerging threats over the internet. It empowers organizations with secure internet access while greatly reducing risks by analyzing all traffic over the corporate network, including traffic in and out from out of the network. Both traffic coming in from the cloud and both traffic coming in from the organization to the cloud. It can be a physical device. It can also be an ISO. It can be installed in a virtual environment. Looking at this, a lot of people will be wondering that, oh, another device to mount in our rack. You don't need to bother yourself. It can be installed as a virtual machine. It can be installed in the virtual environment. And for it to be installed in the virtual environment, these are the requirements that you must have for you to deploy the ISO in a virtual environment. It can be deployed in the VM. It can also deploy in Hyper-V. But when you are deploying it, you must meet the required specification of the memory and the CPU that is being required for you to deploy this. Traditional ways of networking. In our modern ways of networking right now, people are looking at where can this be deployed. It can be deployed in different ways, either as a proxy or as a router mode. How does it work? The proxy function is to facilitate web traffic sent by the client. When a client sends the traffic to the web, this proxy function, the McAfee Web Gateway, intercepts the traffic that is sent by the client and transmits it if it is allowed by the following rules. Default settings are in place for these functions after the initial setup. Using these functions, proxies can be run as web gateway to cover web traffic going on under different networks protocols. With regard to use of proxy functions, web gateway is also referred to as proxy. So which we are saying that this can be referred to as a proxy server. That is, any traffic coming from the user web is going to pass through the web gateway appliance, check the filtering, the rules that is being applied, if it's allowed or blocked. But if it's allowed, the traffic will go to the internet. But if it's blocked, the traffic will block. Also, the traffic that is coming from the internet, it is also block the traffic. And this appliance can be deployed in different configuration proxy, either as a network mode or a network protocol. And this appliance has taken lots of awards. Right now, it has been in 2020 and 2019, it has taken award consecutively, second year running. That is why it's a recommended product for you to deploy in your environment, which is going to secure your web interface of your users. That is, if your users are going through the web, you don't know the content of what they are accessing on the web. The gateway is going to filter the content and check what is coming into the organization, whether it is good or bad. And if it's bad, it will drop. And if it's good, it will allow it to come into the organization. This appliance can be deployed in different mode. Either it can be in a cloud only or in hybrid deployment mode. When you have it in your hybrid, the web gateway, on-premise users use the web gateway appliance, while the off-premises users use the cloud web gateway appliance. Working in the cloud, it can be deployed in different mode. Explicit proxy mode, which can be deployed in two modes. And we have the transparent mode. Explicit mode is configured depending on how you set up your web gateway within your network. transmitted proxy mode with WCP mode. When implementing this proxy web gateway appliance, you configure it to run in transparent proxy mode and use web cache communication protocol to redirect web traffic from the client to the web gateway. While from the transparent proxy with layer 2, it redirects the web traffic from the client to the web gateway using layer 2 transparent method mode, which is the MAC address of the device. Alternatively, you can deploy both web gateway and transparent proxy with layer 2 at the same time. It can also be deployed in transparent router mode. When configured for this proxy function of a web gateway appliance, you do not want to use an explicit mode. The transparent router mode, the clients are unaware of the appliance and need not to be configured to redirect their web traffic to it. The appliance is placed as a router immediately behind a firewall. It's placed behind a firewall. A switch can be used to connect the appliance together. A routing table is used to direct the traffic. Looking at the dashboard of the device, all the IT need is to sit down and configure the rules. The engine is being updated instantly from the cloud. You don't need to be checking whether you don't need to check whether the users accessing the web, what they are downloading, are they secure? Is it secure or not? The web engine is there to do the updates and be checking everything. Every 50 seconds, it checks for the updates from the update server from the cloud and download it to the engine. As you can see, they can see the update engine showing us that it has successfully updated and the new version is there. So let's go to the demo because we have more to show you.
Says that exercise patience while David tries to load. Okay, his screen is up now.
So looking at the dashboard right now, this is how the dashboard look like. Once you log into the dashboard, you see the information. It will tell you that you've logged in successfully as an admin. It will tell you the McAfee antivirus update was successful. New version identifier is installed. The device, once it's connected, once it has an internet source, immediately there is internet to it, it updates itself immediately because cyber crimes are updating their malware, they are uploading the payroll so that when you try to get them in one place, they try to go another way to hide themselves, and at the same time, the McAfee IT also do a research to update their engine wherever it's being deployed anywhere in the world, so that it can be up to date and be catching every information that is going on the web. So let's go to the configuration. This device can be deployed as an hybrid. When you are deploying it as hybrid, that means you have the device on premises and also have the cloud one. What you just need is to synchronize, to check the checkbox to synchronize with the cloud so that users that are not on the premise of the organization that are moving from one place to another can also be using it as a proxy so that they can also filter their web content as well. All you just need to do is to register the cloud server, the port, the administrator enter the accounts, and then the user ID in the cloud. I have configured this device to use a proxy on my web browser. So I have configured my web browser to configure one of my systems to use a proxy of 1990. So I'm going to check some sites for a malware. History. So I'm going to test all this malware on this site. I'm going to test all this payload to see the functions of this device. You can see it blocks. It's going to check everything that is on the web. Is this secure? If it's not secure, it's going to block it. Everything that is not secured, it will not allow me to download it. Everything that is not secure is going to block it. It's very proactive, very active in responding to any things that is coming from the web. And it's going to give me the what is being blocked. It's going to tell me what the application I'm trying to access, what is there. So let's go to the dashboard to see all the reports. It's telling me that all these files I have been trying to access, the Trojan that I tried to open, all what I have tried to attempt to open is going to block them and display it with me, the sites as well. Even the programs I'm going to reach, the media type, everything that is being blocked is going to tell me what is being denied. Everything is going to give me the view of it so that I can check what and what users are also accessing on the web. This will give us this will give us a pictorial view of what is going on the web as well. Like what is being blocked and what our users are trying to attempt to open or download from the web, which are not good to the environment of the organization. If you look at the policy is applied based on the rule. The policy comes from the rule that is here. So it's going to check the URL. The URL is going to check the URL that I'm trying to access. If the URL is a URL that is not secure, it's going to block it for me instantly. Then it's going to go down to the next rule, and anything of the Microsoft is going to allow it because Microsoft is a well-trusted site. ATV scanning is going to check everything here. Then global whitelist. If I want to whitelist a URL that is being blocked, I can also add it to this site, add it to these features, and then click save. Allow connector ports, handle specialists. So the rules are based from the top to the down. Media type. It's going to check the media type. If a media type is blocked, if I want to remove it from not being blocked, I can come here to allow the media type as well. It's also good for troubleshooting in the environment where you deploy the device itself. The scanning engine, user agent whitelist. If I want to whitelist an agent, I can come here to have the agents that I want to whitelist. If I reset this thing and try to open those stuff again, it's still going to deny me all those sites. History. Same test. Whatever I'm trying to open that is not secure is going to block it for me. So it's instantly updating itself. If at all a malware hackers observe that people have observed this style of a website and the application has been observed that is not secure and is being programmed to block, they try to find other ways, but the engine itself is also automatically updating itself to the cloud engine, which are 24 hours working online to search on the internet to check every malware that's being deployed, any kind of payload that is going on the internet, and how they can block it. So it's going to block every media type. As I said, this thing can be deployed as also a router because it has a functionality of performing a routing table. Every logs can be checked. The reports can be accessed to check for audit purpose, for compliance purpose as well. If you want to trace rules, you can check the rules as well. It can also be used to trace a packet, how packet is being moving from one place to another on the web. As I said earlier from the beginning, it's synchronized with the cloud application of the McAfee Web Gateway in the cloud. It can also be as a backup. You can take backup of the configuration or backup of what you've done, backup of the policy you have. For the account, this device can also be authenticated with AD, whether LDAP or NTP, NTLM agents, LDAP or Radius or SSL client certificates. If there is any update, the system take instant updating itself from the cloud. There's an update here, there's an update here. So it updates itself. If you look at the time interval, 29, it's every applications, it take updates of applications from the cloud to this device. Malware, it take updates of malware, the way the malware is being programmed to execute. So the rules, as I've said earlier on, they work from top to down. When you apply rules to this, if a user is blocked, you can come here to allow a user's IP to pass through, or you can have the an IP from the internet, or to work with it. Local user base, you can create users on the device itself. As I've said, this device works as a proxy mode, depending on kind of the configuration you want to deploy this. When you deploy in the proxy mode, it has the basis of doing the WCCP or the L2 transparent mode. I said earlier on that you can either use the two at the same time, or you either use one. It can also function as a HA. When you configure in HA mode, that means it has the ability of load balancing web traffic, so that it cannot be one appliance that is balancing up. When you have multiple of it, you can do a HA mode so that it can balance the web traffic of users, so that there will not be a delay. It also can deploy in the transparent router mode. That is, if you want it to act as a router mode. And also as a transparent bridge mode. whichever deployment mode you deploy it, it works. In my own environment, I'm deploying it in an Hyper-V environment. Let me try to show you the one I deploy in a VM environment. So if you have whichever mode, deployment mode that you want, you can be deployed, whether in Hyper-V or in VM mode. It's good to go. This is my deployment in VM mode. While that is going on, so whatever applications users are trying to access on the web, the device is up to date to take charge of it. It will check whether it's secured or not. If the secured application users are trying to download, it will allow it. And if it's not an application that is not secured, it will either block it and then it will not open at all. This is my McAfee Web Gateway that is deployed in a VM environment. So whichever resources you have it that you don't have enough space in your rack, but you have a server that has many resources that has an Hyper-V, you can deploy it. All you just need, you just meet the requirements. The CPU, the memory, and the space are the requirements, and the standard must be followed. So it's a solution that is very good to deploy in environment to secure user web on the internet, to secure what they are trying to access from both in and outside. So it can also be deployed in the cloud environment. All you just need to do is to have a McAfee account in the cloud, and when you subscribe to the cloud environment, you install the requirements of the McAfee Web Gateway, you deploy it, and then you do the configuration setting. When you can both have the two, both in the cloud and in on-premises. When you have it on on-premises, the on-premises, you can be configuring it in on-premises and also be updating the cloud environment. So when you have it on premises and you want it to be communicating with the cloud, it will be communicating with the cloud, and then at the same time be updating whatever configuration that is done here. It will update to the cloud environment and then also synchronize with it as well, both in and out So when you can also have this device run in different organizations, in different branches. So you can also have them as a group, so that you can put settings, whatever policy that is being applied in the one in that office can be also pushed to the other one in the branch as well.